Hey folks, welcome back to the Toronto Marlies Insider. The Marlies welcomed the Utica Comets to the Coliseum tonight, following a tough overtime loss to the Rochester Americans last night. Let's jump into it. But before we do that, we want to give a special shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. SeatGeek is the best place to go if you're looking for tickets to a sporting event, concert or a live show. Click the link below and use code Toronto Marlies Insider, all one word, to get $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek will let you know if the tickets you want are a good value or not with their 1 to 10 rating system to ensure you always get the best bang for your buck. So make sure you check them out and use the promo code Toronto Marlies Insider to save $20. The Marlies continued their blistering start in first periods with a goal after only 32 seconds. It was a bit of a howler from former Marlies goaltender Eric Shalgren. It saw the puck kind of bounce off his stick, his hand, his stick. Anyway, it eventually rolled between his legs, leaving Pontus Holmberg the difficult task of putting the puck into an unguarded net from about 6 inches out. Alex Steeves and Nick Robertson were credited with the assists. The quick start continued as the Marlies extended their lead with just over 2 minutes played. Dylan Gambrell with his first goal for the Marlies after a beautiful backhanded pass from the returning fan favourite Joe Blandisi. Blender, as he is known to fans, was left out of the lineup for yesterday's game, so this assist and his overall play would have meant something to him as he looks to prove himself to new head coach John Gruden. I've got to be honest here for a second. When Simon, the announcer for the Marlies, listed all the players not dressed for the Comets, I was delighted to hear that Simon Nemeth wasn't playing. However, I was less than excited when I heard that Graham Clark was playing. He always seems to just find a way to score against the Marlies. And if you're a fan of the channel since we started, you know how highly we rate him and how much we hate playing against him. Today was no different. Straight from a face-off following a penalty to Bobby McMahon, Clark sniped a great shot past Martin Jones in the Marlies net to reduce the deficit to 1. Overall, the game was played hard but mostly fair. However, I do want to highlight this one moment with Joe Blandisi. He comes across and finishes his hit on Santeri Hataka, and both of them end up on or over the boards at the Comets bench. You can clearly see Tyler Witherspoon taking a swipe at Blandisi and then holding onto his stick, followed by Robbie Russo holding and then pulling Blandisi down by his head or helmet, as Hataka himself takes a couple of cowardly punches at the unprotected head of Blandisi. Kyle Clifford comes in almost immediately and clears things up, but this was a real talking point amongst the fans we spoke to in the arena. As fate would have it, Hataka ended up leaving the game early with an undisclosed injury, perhaps a bit of karma? Either way, the Marlies faithful really let him have it as he left the ice. Anyway, let's get back to the action. The Marlies restored their 2-goal lead with a tipped shot from Ryan Forberg. Kyle Clifford and Tommy Miller with the assists. This was Ryan's first ever goal for the Marlies, and we're all incredibly excited for him. Just over 29 seconds later, the Marlies had their 4th goal of the game as Nick Robertson scored a beauty through the 5-hole of Shalgren after some industrious battling from Alex Steeves around the blue line. This was the 4th goal on 10 shots faced by Shalgren, and he was pulled after this and replaced by Isaac Poulter. Not the return to Toronto Shalgren would have wanted, but we still wish him the best. Taking another break from the goal scoring, one thing of note was a fight that saw an enraged Kyle Clifford tangle with a few Comets, but ended up with him on top of Samuel LeBerge and raining down blows.
And now is lined up here with LeBerge. Clifford leads with the uppercut and another one, and then pulls the man over and takes another shot.
Well, Clifford goes down. That's usually the end of the fight. It was not today. Clifford got right back up. You don't normally see a guy wind up on his back and still have the ability to get up and wind up on top of the pile.
Now Clifford hears something from some other folks, and LeBerge and Clifford got more.
Take a listen to a funny line from Marlies commentator Todd Crocker.
Vukovic thought he might have something to say in that conversation, but as soon as Clifford turns around, he got his skates moving fishtail back the other way.
Clifford was assessed a 5-minute penalty for fighting and a game misconduct. As he left the ice, the crowd roared him on as a great sign of appreciation. And that's how the first period ended. The Marlies led 4-1. Shots in the period were 13-6 in favour of the Marlies. After 5 goals and a few scuffles in the first period, the second was bound to be just a little bit of a letdown. The Comets pulled a goal back from Xavier Perrant with just over 7 minutes played. The Comets won a turnover on the Marlies' blue line, which caught a couple of players out. Justin Dowling made a nice pass to set up Perrant to send the puck past Martin Jones. It did look like Martin Jones' sight was kind of blocked. Either way, nice goal. There was no further scoring in the period, and at the end of it, the score was 4-2 to the Marlies. Shots were even at 8 each. Nick Robertson added his second goal of the season and second of the night after another beautiful backhand pass from Landisi to make it 5-2. It stayed that way until the end of the game, and it proved to be a night of firsts. It was the first win of the season, the first win of the John Gruden era. It was also first goals for Tvorberg and Gambrell. The final score was 5-2 and shots were 35-23 in favour of the Marlies. The team have to be happy with the scoreline, but the second period lull and then the third period drop off in production might be a cause for concern considering how the previous game against the Americans went. But it's still early in the season and head coach John Gruden must be happy to see some variety on the scoreboard. There wasn't that over-reliance we spoke about in the last video on Logan Shaw and Bobby McMahon. Here's what Dylan Gambrell, Joe Blandisi and John Gruden had to say to the media after the game.
Joe, first game of the season for you. You didn't get to play yesterday, but you're in the lineup tonight. What did it feel like to get back out there?
I missed it over the summer. Obviously, you want to play every night, but you just got to give them a reason to keep putting you in. So that was my goal tonight, just bring what I bring to the table, try and help everybody be better people, and it worked out tonight.
2 incredible passes from you that led to goals tonight. Was there any rust at all, or were you just ready to roll?
No, we got pretty good development staff. Lots of guys helping us on the ice throughout the week. So I think even being injured the last couple of weeks, I got a lot of return to play stuff. So I think I'm sharp. I'm ready to go.
Now, obviously, you bring skills off the ice, your incredible DJ skills in the room. But what can you bring on the ice for reasons to keep you in this lineup?
Just positivity on the bench. I think there's lots of ups and downs in the game, and guys are, especially younger guys, can get down on themselves at times. So I think I got a pretty good feel for when guys are down on themselves and able to pick them back up. So,
what have been your first impressions of working with John Gruden so far?
I think he's good. He's very detailed. He's got the boys working. We're going to be a working group this year. We're going to work to get to our skill. So I think it's definitely an exciting time of year, and it's an exciting group of people we got.
Being a veteran and speaking of the younger guys, what was it like to see Tvorberg get his first in the AHL?
Yeah, I think he's had a great camp in September, and now he's come down here and he's working his hardest every night. I think he's in for a pretty big season. He's got a lot of speed and skills to go with it, so I'm excited to see where he ends at the end of the year.
Dylan, a big bounce back for you guys here today. It seemed like a complete team win. What was your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought we learned a lot from yesterday. We were in, pretty much the exact same situation. And it just came down to the third and finishing strong. And like I said, learning from yesterday. And, I think we did that today.
Specifically looking at the third period, what are some examples that you thought you did really well compared to yesterday?
I think it was just a lot of hard plays. Games like that, it comes down to the blue lines. No turnovers at the blue and just making hard plays. And, winning those wall battles, I think goes a long way and helped us today.
You got your first goal as a Marlie today. Have you been impressed with the skill on the ice now that you guys are playing real games?
Yeah, big time. Our Groot said it before the game. He can throw out any line and feel comfortable in any situation. So, it's been fun so far, and early in the year, so look to grow some more.
Speaking of John Gruden, what's been your impression of him and working with him so far?
He's been great. I think he lets you play the game and make plays, obviously within the system, but he gives you that freedom. He knows the team we have, and like I said, he gives us that freedom to make plays and play hockey.
When you found out you were coming to the Leafs organization and the Marlies, how did you get to know some of the players? And when you first came to Toronto, who were some of the guys that you got to know first?
I knew a couple guys. I knew Gregor coming in, Jonesy, and then Shazi as well. So I knew a handful of guys, and the hockey world's pretty small. You usually a couple guys, so they helped me kind of find my way here pretty quick, and lucky to know those guys.
What stands out to you most about Logan Shaw?
Leadership, and he plays. He leads by example vocally, but mostly on the ice as well. It's not just lip service. He's out there and he's playing the game the right way, and he's a great leader all around.
Congratulations, your first win as head coach of the Marlies. What did you like from that game out there?
Well, I liked our start, obviously, scoring 4 goals in the first period, and I liked more importantly, I liked the way we handled the third. Outscoring them 1-0, but we were more detailed. We were stopping and starting our own end. We were closing quicker, and not give them anything. Again, if they're going to come back on us, we're going to make sure that they're going 200 feet.
Speaking of that third period specifically, even though you guys were up 5-2, the defensive plays were just coming. You saw like Max Lajoie, getting down there, stopping a potential goal. Was that the effort level you were hoping to see for the full 60 minutes?
Yeah, when good teams want to, if you're a good team, you want to be consistent. And again, the third period can cover up, will show a lot of where you're at. And that was a good turnaround from 24 hours ago. So it's good to see, and you can see the guys were willing and committed to wanting to do it. It's one thing to say to do it, but to go out there and do it was well done on their part.
First game for Martin Jones this season. How impressed are you with his game?
He calms everything down back there. He's got a calming influence. His professionalism, just the way he goes about it, like even in between the periods, you can just tell he has a calming influence, especially on our young defensemen.
Now, going forward, you guys don't have a game for a while, but what are some things you want to take into this week of preparations?
Well, we want to just build our game. Again, there's some things that we want to clean up as far as our breakouts of being a bit more clean on those and being more predictable, and then our special teams. It'll be a good week for us to work on that. So it's for us, it'll be good to get the rest, and then it'll be good to go back to work and continuing to grow.
Do you have any update at all on Roni Hirvonen, who left the game?
I don't. I just heard that he had left, and we just hope he's okay. That's our number one concern. That he has a speed. Hopefully it's nothing too serious where we get him back sooner than later.
What have you seen from Ryan Torberg, especially tonight after he gets his first AHL goal?
Well, I think he gives you some balance as far as he can play up and down the lineup. He can play center. He can play with your first line, your fourth line. I like his game. He's doing a lot of the little things right, and you can see how he can be a good prospect down the road, just like a lot of our other players.
I was just gonna say, like, the depth that forward, like, you guys got a lot of scoring from everyone. How nice was it to see to have that?
It was. I mean, it's a luxury, and I told the guys before the game, I mean, not many teams can roll out 4 lines in 6D like we can. So we have to use that to our strength and make sure everyone's involved and we're all doing our jobs.
It was also first time you saw Joe Blandisi in game action. He brings so much off the ice, but were you impressed with the skill that he had out there tonight, those 2 amazing passes leading to goals?
Yeah, I really am, and I'm also impressed with his leadership. He brings another element of energy on the bench that it's good to have. He makes it, everyone's on their toes, and he definitely helps that department for sure. I didn't realize that was for the first time with him, so it wasn't. I'm not surprised that he was like that, but it definitely helps our team chemistry.
That's 2 goals and 5 points now for Robertson so far. What do you like from his game through the first 2 games?
Well, he's a shooter. Again, for him, he's a result guy. We want to get him the puck in those areas where he's most dangerous, and and what he's doing on the power play, we want him to understand to move it, and then when he can get it back in those areas. So we saw how dangerous the shot is. So, and he had a couple assists too, where he made a couple nice passes, made a nice pass to Holmberg yesterday. So he's just got to continue to stay confident and keep growing his game and understand what's gonna grow his game.
A huge thanks again to SeatGeek for sponsoring this post-game recap. Make sure you click the link below and use our promo code to save $20. We hope you enjoyed our coverage of the Marlies' first win of the season. Our next game is back at the Coliseum on October 21st against the Charlotte Checkers. As always, we hope to see you there, but if we don't, we'll catch you in the next one.